What's good? What's good? What's really good, good people? This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Good day, good people. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. For those who are tuned in, I appreciate you. Of course, Sunday. And you all know what you're watching. You're watching Sunday Morning Live right here in the studios of Charm City Direct TV. I am your host, the man that you all know and love, E Digger. That's right. That's right. Today, good people, we have a very, very great show because that's what we do. We spread awareness, we spread inspiration, motivation, entertainment, all coming your way. Today, good people, I have the privilege, the honor to talk to a gentleman who has been all over spreading his uh inspiration, his motivation through the power of being a life coach, being a motivational speaker, and author. He co-authored one book, which is Soulful Affirmations, and the other book, which he is the author of, My Next Season is Due Season. I love that title. And we're going to talk to him. We're going to talk to none other than the amazing Dr. Eric Holmes right here on Sunday Morning Live, because the topic is fitting for this show, and it is manifesting your gifts, manifesting your talents. A lot of people out there have abundant talents. A lot of people out here have abundant gifts. And they have these gifts, they have these talents who just don't know what to do with them. And on last week's show, I featured a video from Steve Harvey. We all know who Steve Harvey is. He's a TV host. He's a comedian, but we all know him by his words of encouragement. And he talked about utilizing your gifts in a very famous speech called Jump. If you have not seen that video, you need to go and check out that video. It is on YouTube, and he was doing it on a segment of Family Feud. And that's what he do. He stops and he talks to the audience, and he shares some motivation, some inspiration to the audience. And that famous speech that he talked about was called Jump, and I featured that on last week's show. But I wanted to dwell on the aspect of utilizing your gifts, utilizing your talents, because, like I said, people, a lot of people out here have abundance of gifts and talents and just don't know what to do with them. So today we're going to try to answer those questions with my special guest, Dr. Eric Holmes. He will be coming up next, and he's going to talk to you about his books, his life coaching, his motivation, his radio hosting, his TV hostings, and so much more. So stay tuned, because Sunday Morning Live starts now. That's right, good people. This is Sunday Morning Live. I am your host, the man that you all know and love, E Digger. You can check out Charm City Direct TV on all social media platforms. Go to YouTube at Charm City Direct TV. Make sure you head on over to Facebook at Charm City Direct TV. And you can check us out on Twitch, of course, at Charm City Direct TV. And by the good people at Twitch and the good people at MMBP Radio, you can now check out this live broadcast on MMBP Radio at www.mmbpradio.com. That's right, good people. Charm City Direct TV is everywhere, and you can be included by going to these social media platforms and watching the content live. That's right, good people. Like I said, as promised, we're going to bring in Dr. Eric Holmes. He is the co-author of this particular on this book and the author of another book, his two latest books that are out, Soulful Affirmations. He is the co-author of that, and my next season is due season. I love that title. Love that title. So, you know me, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to bring him in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Dr. Eric Holmes. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good, my brother. Thank you for the wonderful, introduction, man. What an honor, what a privilege just to share on your platform. So I'm always honored, take nothing for granted. So I thank God for every opportunity and every door that he's opened, because every opportunity is not an opportunity that I go through, or every
Right.
open door is not a door I go through. So thank God for the open doors, but the closed doors that he didn't allow me to go through.
Right.
But thank you for taking this time out to allow me to share right here on your amazing platform. So thank you. Grace and peace be unto you and to all your amazing listeners, all your followers, and all who will be tuned in to share with us on this day.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming on the show, by the way. It is a pleasure and an honor to be graced by people who are doing wonderful things such as yourself. Um, I am just in awe of people that does wonderful things,
Yes.
um, and doing multiple things, and being a life coach, being an author, a radio TV host, the radio host and TV host, and all of those things, and bringing inspiration towards people, because that's what we need right now. We need
Yes.
people like yourself, Dr. Holmes, who just have a message for people. And today's topic, like I said, manifesting your gifts, manifesting your talents. You'll be amazed, Dr. Holmes, of a lot of people who are sitting on their talents, who are sitting on their gifts. Now, my first question is, who or what gave you the motivation to start your journey into being a life coach and being a author? Who or what gave you the influence or the motivation to do that?
It's so many people. So, I just say all of those had a part of my journey. Of course, my mother who transitioned 6 years ago.
Wow.
So, and not only that, because I had a lot of, it's eight of us. So I had a lot of brothers and sisters, five brothers, two sisters. So they were always there to encourage, to support, even for my pastors, of course, the late Apostle Evans, Bishop Richard Pender, who is my current pastor now,
Yes.
Lady Pender, Lady Evans, Lady Bragg, Dr. Betty Lawrence, so many different people that played a part. You don't want to start naming names because you
Right.
might miss
Right.
somebody. So everybody who's had a part in it, I celebrate and salute them, that they were the ones who gave me the push or the influence, the encouragement, the inspiration. But most of all, it was through prayer and hearing and following and obeying what God has was spoken and what God said.
Right. Right. Now, as a child, Dr. Holmes, did you ever see yourself being a life coach, being an author?
Well, it wasn't titled that. These little terms now, these new terms that come up now, because it's amazing, because I posted a throwback picture. Actually, one of my friends sent me a throwback picture, and we were doing photography and taking pictures way back when. But
Yes.
it was always in me, but it wasn't called that. You know what I mean? It was
Right.
called someone, just inspiring or encouraging someone. We just come up with these terms now, from the time I was in, like, saying, like, first grade, always encouraging people and helping people and inspiring people. So it was already there. It's
Right.
just that now it has come into timing and season, into the maturity and manifestation of what God already purposed. And now as we know, we call it life coaches, or so many different terms that they use. And so it was already there, because
Right.
what's in you, it's going to come out of you.
Right. Right. Now, when you hear the phrase manifesting your talents, manifesting your gifts, what comes to mind in your own opinion when you hear that phrase, manifest your talents, manifest your gifts? What comes to mind?
It comes into something coming into fruition. And it's amazing you just asked this, because I just left somebody a voicemail saying, sharing dreams and visions from reality to the manifestation, which means that it's going to manifest, it's going to come into fruition. We think of it when we see the reality of it, but yet when you see the manifestation, meaning it's going to happen, it's happening. And so it manifests, rather than just being from the reality, but seeing the manifestation of what was spoken, the manifestation of what you're doing, the manifestation of what is taking place.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, talk about your two latest books. Um, you co-wrote, you co-authored one book, which is Soulful Affirmations. Let's talk about that one first. How did that come to be? uh what was the process like, or how were you approached to co-author this book?
Soulful affirmations. One, if anybody knows anything about affirmations, they're definitely powerful, because when you write them, when you journal them, you definitely got to believe in them. I've worked with the visionary Miss Cheryl Pelote Williamson on several projects. So this is actually my third project with her, because I co-authored Soulful Prayer Volume 1 and Soulful Prayer Volume 2 with her, who is the visionary. And so we've already had a bond and a connection, and of course being divinely connected. So when Soulful Affirmation came, it's a whole Soulful series. And so being in the Soulful family, with working with this amazing visionary, I've been blessed to be in. This is my third project. And so when Soulful Affirmations, we speak them, we declare them, we write them. But here's the thing, you got to believe them. Then you got to put your faith to work. You got to put your faith into action, because you can write a whole lot of things.
Right.
But if you don't believe them, if you don't put your faith to action, if you don't exercise your faith, nothing's going to happen, because you can say all you want, but if you really don't believe it, if you really don't put in the work while you speak it, while you write it, while you declare it, and while you're in the transition of that to the manifestation of it happening, you got to do something in the process. And so the process was and I love these projects, because I say they're not just books, they're divine assignments, and they're God inspired. And here's the thing, it wasn't overnight. It happened over time. So we started, it's probably been a 6-month process, just like the other books were like 8th-month projects. And so we're training, we're learning, we're on conference calls, we're emails. And so you're getting a whole lot than just a lot of other projects or a lot of other books.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And talk about your other latest, which is My Next Season is Due Season, which happened. I love that title, by the way. Um, let's talk about that. Talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, the title is powerful. And I tell anybody, you want to capture the attention. And then too, because I do powerful public speaking. So we, all this education and dropping pocket stories and who are my audience and my target audience. But it is phenomenal when God gave me this. And here's the thing, I was just sharing it. This is sort of in collaboration or in parallel with my first book, The Power of the Seed. And when God gave me this, he really actually gave me this when he gave me the power of the seed. And I'll tell you why. When I was doing the power of the seed and I wasn't going to be an author, I just asked God one Saturday morning, my 5 a.m. prayer. I was praying for God to bless me with a project, to be a blessing to my pastor and first lady, a blessing to ministry, a blessing to the kingdom. And after praying, and I walked in the kitchen and opened the door to the deck, he said, put it in the book. And so I looked at this tree in the yard. It had changed colors. And I had been in my house 10 years at the time. Yes, this is my 15th year. Wow. And it had changed colors. And so I said, wow. He said it twice. Your season just changed.
Mm.
Your season just changed. So I turn around, standing in the kitchen with the door open, and he said, put it in the book, The Power of the Seed. But here's the thing. He was giving me my next season is due season because he allowed me to know your season just changed. Your season just changed. So 5 years later, here it is. I was working on my next season is due season. And so here I tell people, don't miss the door of opportunity. That's why I say every door is not a door of opportunity. You know, you can't go through. You got to make sure it's God, because so many doors can open. But is it the door of opportunity? Is it the door that God opened? Is it like he said in Revelation 3:8, now I set before thee an open door? And so here it is. He gave me that. But here's where it comes in: timing and season, the maturity, the manifestation. And because so many people, we operate out of timing and season. Because it was 5 years prior, he gave me this. It's amazing. I didn't even think about it to just recently, like, wow, he really gave me this when he gave me the first one. Yet it already knew that it was another one on the way. And so here it was. So I wrote down the power of the seed, but then I also, that next season, your season just changed, your season just changed. And so when I begin to work on my next season is due season, but here's the thing. This was a 3-year process. This book was 3 years in process. And so I said to my Aunt Lady Bragg, shout out to my Aunt Lady Bragg. And of course, my Aunt Lavoie, they helped me with all my corrections and everything. So I said to her, it's the timing and season, because see, it could be time, but is it season? It could be season. Is it time? But see, when you operate in the timing of season of God, you can't go wrong, because I could have moved and yet it wasn't the timing and season. Mm-hmm. So now I would have missed what he gave me, the revelation of it, but yet it was the timing, it was a process, it was the season. And where does it come out? It comes out when we're in a season that people are getting weary. We're in a season where people are losing faith and losing hope. Yet I've planted, I've sown, I prepared for this season, and now it's shifted. And just like today, it was windy and it was cold. Yet yesterday it was a little bit warmer, but here it is. It is winter, but yet March 21st says I'm in spring. So now here it is. It was in the timing and season of God in eternity to manifest that manifestation to the earth realm. So there's where the manifestation comes in, because it was spoken, it was there, but yet the transition of the manifestation is when it happened. So now you have my next season is due season. So don't miss the key point, the process and preparation, the timing and season. And so it's biblically, all my books are biblically based and God inspired. And so one of them was Ecclesiastes 3:1. We know when it talks about to everything, there's a season. We know with Galatians 6:9, you know, you don't have to get weary. You got a harvest coming. Just don't faint, you know. And even with the other ones, you know, if I dealt with, you know, the timing and season was seed time and harvest. So we deal with Genesis 8:22. As long as the earth remains, there shall be seed time and harvest. Or even for us that planted and sown, you know, here it is. Isaiah said, listen, in 55:10, listen, he gives seed to the soil. So all of this is a collaboration of what he's already spoke, but now we're in the manifestation of it.
Wow. Wow. Ooh. Wow. Just gave me chills, right? Wow. Biblically based, God inspired. I love that. Yeah. I love that. Talk about people who are so gifted, so talented. Why aren't they utilizing their gifts and their talents?
One of the things, and this is what, as you know, as Larry would say, allegedly, as I believe, is that one, and I dealt with this because actually I'm talking about it tomorrow in our life coach class that I'm one of the teachers of.
Okay.
When we deal with purpose, and I'll tie this right into that. If you don't know it, if you can't define it, you'll never be able to understand, yet walk in it, yet be able to fulfill it. And a lot of times you need somebody to help you when you don't know it. Or as my first lady, Dr. Hinton, said, just do it all. God will show you along the way. But it's already in you. And sometimes is that also of a coach, a mentor, your pastor, your leader. And I thank God for a good shepherd and leader, from the late Apostle Evans to Bishop Pender. I'm telling you, you need somebody that can help guide you and
Right.
direct you and
Right.
to pull what's in you out of you. It's already there. But sometimes, even when we say things in the medical field might be laid dormant, but there's an awakening that must take place. Or like Mary and Elizabeth, listen, when you have somebody that can make the baby leap, who can make the baby leap? Who can help pull what's in me out of me, that I can now walk in my purpose, or now I can allow my gifts and talents. But a lot of times we don't know them. We don't understand them. We can't define them. But it's already in you, because what's in you is going to come out of you. Just give it time. Like all of this was already in me, but then I had people in my life. My mom, I had people in my life that now was helping cultivate what was already in me. And so that's why I tell people all the time, I thank God for a good shepherd and leader, even from the late Apostle Evans. And here's the thing, let me just pause right here. He spoke so many things that is now coming into the manifestation that caught up to me in the timing and season, and in the manifestation and maturity, that stuff I seen he spoke prophetically. And here it is now. But here's the thing. I had to do something in between the transition and the manifestation. So I had to do the work in between.
Right.
And so now here it is. He saw it. He spoke it. I believed it. I had to put in the work, but then I had to wait to the timing and season. We operate too many times out of the timing and season, and we're in a rush. And so even with people that are gifted and talented, we see it now. We have so many people, naturally and spiritually. They may be in positions, or they may be in a lane they shouldn't, because they move too fast. They're in a hurry. And even some, they may not have nobody to channel. You can be prophetic or gifting, but is it channeled right? Do I have somebody? I'm telling you, we get to teaching and training at 39. There's no place like Bethel, y'all. I'm telling you. And I thank God for that, is because we get teaching, whether it's correction, teaching, training, that advice, and he's there to help us of what God placed in us.
Right.
And so many times what it is, people really don't know. And so because they don't know, they can't define it, yet they don't know what to do with it. And so when they use those terms that people are just running all amok or whatever, but here it is because they had not been, and I'm not calling in, but when they use these words like tamed, it's not, because somebody has to help and to motivate and to share and to help guide you, so you're not misguided, and so you don't go ahead. And too many times, that's why people, especially in the church room, and they go out, say, if they're going to open a church, you better hear clear, but then you better have to have somebody that's going to help you. Don't go ahead. I could have, at that time he gave me this, but guess what? It wasn't a timing and season that this would have been released. Why? Because we need it into this hour, that I can share with other people, that it's the process, it's the preparation. Your season is coming. Your season is going to change. And one thing I love is because on the back of here, you see the seasons. And what happens is that I can't go from winter and jump to summer when I got spring in between. You got to endure the process. You've got to endure one season to get to the next. And we're trying to skip the season. We're trying to skip the night season to get to the morning season. We're trying to skip spring and jump to summer. Well, you have spring in between.
Right.
You're going to miss something that you need.
Right. Wow. Incredible. Incredible. So, Dr. Holmes, what advice could you give someone right now that are stuck, with knowing the knowledge that they have gifts, they have talents inside of them, but they're afraid to let it show for whatever reason? Someone may told them that whatever they try to do, it won't prosper, or that their talents is nothing but a waste. It's not going to put food on the table, or you'll never be anything. using your talents or gift, what word of encouragement, or what word of encouragement? And I think I'm trying to kind of
Yeah,
change
that's
this
it.
word of
Because
advice. What word of encouragement do you have for those people to forget what the naysayers are saying and go full throttle with their talents and gifts?
here's the thing, E. The key to this, and I literally just posted something not right before I came on here. I said, don't let your visions and dreams die, and
Mm,
don't allow others to cause them to die. You better continue to dream big. You know why? God gave it to you.
mm,
People may not understand your vision, your dreams. I literally, right before I got on here, posted this and said, because here's the thing, they're not going to understand that He gave it to you.
mm.
And so I can't go on ease a vision and dream if I don't understand it because God didn't give it to me. And
Right.
too many times, and I said, check your circle and check your team.
Oh
Who
my
is in your circle and who is on your team? And here's the last part of it. I just literally 15 minutes ago posted and said, here's the thing. You got to check your circle and check your team.
God. Mm,
But who can house the vision and the dream? Who can help push the vision and the dream? But you, and I said, here it is. You got to check the motives. You got to check the heart. You got to check. Is it purposeful? You got to make sure that they have your best interests at heart. And here's the last thing I said on that post. Be careful in this season who you share your visions and dreams to. You know why? They won't understand it even when they try to downplay it, even when they try to say it's not going to work. And you can tell how a person really feels. Share something and wait for the response.
mm.
So I say to them, I say this all the time, like this is literally part of my dialogue. Keep pressing, keep pushing, and pursuing purpose that it might connect with destiny. Now, in the transition of where you're going to have, as my bishop would say, some speed humps, some stops. But guess what? That's what it is. They just slow you down. It doesn't stop you. So you keep on going. And so I say, it's not how you start, but how you finish.
Mm.
It's not how fast you run, but that you endure. And I use this illustration in my book that's in The Power of the Seed with the turtle and the rabbit. It wasn't how fast he was going. He kept on going.
Mm.
He stayed focused. He stayed in his lane. He
Right.
did not get, and I said, don't get distracted in this season. He didn't get distracted that the rabbit was faster. He didn't get distracted that the rabbit started out ahead of him. He stayed focused. He stayed in his lane. And guess what? He saw the finish line. So I'm saying to you, you got to see it before you see it and then recognize it before it comes. And so here it is. You got to push beyond circumstance. You got to push beyond the now to see the end result. Now,
Mm.
he gave us a word that said victory belongs to us. So he already gave us, as my bishop preached, a gift called victory. We already got the victory. It's already a fixed fight. So you got to stand on the word and the promises. Don't allow people to talk you out of your dream. What you talk about, Steve Harvey said, jump.
Mm.
I remember that whole illustration where the gentleman in his office told him, don't you allow this boss. He went back to put that stuff on his desk.
Mm-hmm.
And that gentleman said to him, you better go after your vision, your dreams. Don't allow them. And though he had some problems in between getting to the manifestation to now when he looks back that he's wealthy, but here it is. He had somebody that gave him the push that he needed. That's
Mm.
all you need sometimes. It's somebody said, you know what, you can do this thing. That's why I say you better check your check your circle and check your team. Who is in my circle? Who is on my team? All I needed was that push. All Steve Harvey needed was that push. And guess what? He ain't looked back since.
Mm.
Even when the teacher told him, when he said, I'm going to be on TV, guess what? And they downplayed it. His father says to him, I can hear this story just as clear. And he
Yes.
says, listen, just write what they want. But every night and every morning, you write what you said. So here's the thing. He said, I'm going to be on TV. So what they did was she downplayed it. He wrote down in the morning and in the evening. And so here's the thing. You got to still stick to the plan that God gave you. His is always going to work out. And so what happens? Every year he sent her a TV. because he was on TV. I tell people, you'll see me on Forbes, you'll see me on the cover, you'll see me at the top billionaire status because the bottom is just too crowded. I write it, I journal it, I write my affirmation, my vision board, my goal board, and you got to do like David. You got to look in the mirror something and just encourage yourself. But whatever you do, quitting is not an option. Whatever you do, faith is your only means of transportation, and victory is your only option. And so you got to let faith be your guide. You got to let faith be the transportation. You even got to let trouble be the transportation of where you going, because it's all part of the plan. And so when you talked about getting stuck, don't get stuck in the middle of the process. You got to see it to the end. Just like when they were on that ship, they had two things, whether they was going to sink or swim. And listen, all on boards, broken pieces. I don't care if you coming on boards or broken pieces. You better get to the end. You better get to the island. And so here it is. Just like with the farmer, when I talk about in my book, even from the power of the seed, even for my next season is due seed, the process, the preparation. But here it is. From the beginning, yet he sees the end. But then he says, wait a minute. I got the middle process. How do I handle the middle of the process so I don't get stuck? So now he's got to water, got to nurture, he's got to harvest it in order to get to his season, to this due season. But there's something you got to do in the middle of the process so he can't get stuck. So after he handles the middle of the process, guess what? The seed will germinate through the underground process to get to the set time of harvest. Now he gets to the due season. Now he gets to the harvest season. Now, because he didn't get stuck. So anybody that feels like you are stuck, this is where coaches come in. This is where people, whether it's a mentor, whether it's a life coach, whether it's your pastor, whether it's a friend, whether it's somebody that's just going to say, listen, you can make it. And you better have people in your circle. You better have people on your team. I'm telling you, that can give you that push that you need.
Yes.
Give you the truth and love and help push the vision.
Yes. Wow. Incredible.
I'm sorry, I don't have people around me that's, one, not going to hold me accountable, but not is going to inspire and encourage me to push a little further. I have a friend of over 48 years. We call her the NACA Queen, and we graduated. I mean, she's in Atlanta now. She moved from PA to Atlanta. Houses, real estate. I mean, she's doing the thing even in the pandemic when I say closing deals, but she gives me the truth. She said, there's so much more in you. And she gives you straight truth. Anytime you can just retire from the government at the age of 50, she did. But I'm telling you, bad. I call her the knacker. I'm telling you, but you need people that's going to see more than you see and push you further than even when you see yourself.
Right. Oh my gosh. Man, I needed to hear this today.
Yeah, because people will downplay what God gave you. That's why I say I have a t-shirt line out, like 5 of them. One of them says, it's not personal, it's just purpose. You know why? I've learned to close the chapter and turn the page, because one of the other ones said, I'm working the vision and I'm building a brand. Wow. Here it is. It's because it's not personal that I'm going to another dimension or another level and you don't understand it. It's nothing personal. It's just purpose.
Right.
And so people will get, well, they're acting funny or they're acting bougie or however they want to name it. It's not personal. It's just purpose. That's why my other one says favor will change the rules. I've seen it. And so I'm focused and I'm determined, because in this season, I got to get everything. This is the season. We may look at this pandemic, and on my radio interview earlier, I said, in this pandemic, it really has blessed and opened a lot of things. Yes, we had some things that had transpired. Yes, people died. Yes, things have happened. But in the midst of it, people got blessed too. As my bishop preached, we're going to prosper in the pandemic. You know why? I opened up an LLC in the midst of it. I finished Life Coach School of Arkansas. Now I'm a recruiter for the school. Not only that, another t-shirt line. Not only that, another book release, then co-authored another book. So in the midst of all of that, I've seen God move. So now your whole mindset has got to be changed. It's a shifting in the mind. It's another perspective that you got to see it from. And that's why you can't share everything. You got to move strategic in this season. You got to move like a game of chess. You got to move strategic in this season. You got to move in silence. And then here it is. Wait on a manifestation to share what's happening.
Yes. Yes. Dr. Holmes, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on this show. I needed to hear this. And I am old, and I think I speak for the people that is watching this. They needed to hear this too. I greatly appreciate you for coming on this show and sharing that message. It is an absolute pleasure. How can people find you on social media?
And let me one point, and I'm gonna go right to that social media. And this is why I had to be rescheduled. See, things are delayed on
Right.
purpose, for purpose, but still on schedule.
Right.
Because had we done this prior to, somebody wouldn't have got what God was already doing. And so when we look at delays or we look at rescheduling, how he has shifted things, but yet it was in the timing and season. And so now somebody can be encouraged and inspired because it was right when it needed to be done and said. So I always tell
Yes.
people delayed on purpose, for purpose, but yet still on schedule because he's always on schedule. And so don't get stuck. Move forward. And I use this and I'm going right to where they can find me. 3 years ago, I was in the wilderness experience in between Bayview and in between the main campus. But in the midst of that wilderness experience, God gave me a message that I preached. He said, don't compromise your promise and settle for less. It's worth the wait. I'm going to show you how to navigate through the wilderness to get to the promise. The promise is still good, and there's no expiration date to what he promised. And it was just waiting for me on the other side. So I had to navigate through the wilderness. But here's the thing. Don't compromise your standards and your promise and to fit other people's. I'm telling you, it's worth waiting on God. And you can find me on all the social media, Facebook, Eric Holmes, Twitter, Dr. E. You can find me on Instagram is Dr. _E _Holmes _. And so listen, or go, if you go on Amazon and you see my bio, my information is right in there, or you can email me, ELYNNK1306 @gmail.com. That's also in my books and in my bio. But I'm telling you this, be inspired and be encouraged. Whatever you do, even if you need a life coach, I am a certified life coach with credentials, you name it. But here's the thing, I want you to make it. But don't ever think, even in this, and this is so key right here, E. It may seem like my season is not moving or I feel stuck in between all of these seasons. But guess what? The mere fact is this, just keep moving. Because don't get stuck. Condition your mind. Just like this book I had to read for class on Who Moved My Cheese. The one got stuck. The other one moved. So he got everything at the end. Don't ever feel that you're so stuck that somebody can't help you. But you got to see things from another perspective. You got to see it, as my first lady said, you got to see yourself in the future, knowing that things look so much better than they do right now. And so you got to see things before you see it and then recognize it when it comes. And so in the midst of that, you got to just keep moving. And sometimes you need somebody to say, you know what, E? You can just go a little bit further. You're going to make it. I believe in you. And that's why you got to check your circle and check your team. If people are speaking negative, if people are not helping push you, or they're downplaying what you, I just taught at a wealth seminar for Bishop Waters, who we call now the new General of Faith. And I taught at a wealth seminar Saturday in Virginia. But here's the thing. And I told them I would email them the book, my workbook, To the Power of the Seed. Told them don't send it out because I'll teach from that. But I kept my word. But here's the thing. Don't allow people. He's opening doors. He's making room, and your gift will make room. Just let God be God and let the word do the work. Don't allow people to house you in the back. Don't allow people to downplay your vision, your dreams, your goals. If you say you're going to be a millionaire, listen, in the process of it, make sure, what are you doing to get there?
Right.
Now, we got to be disciplined. We got to be good stewards. All of that. If I say I'm going to be a billionaire, what am I doing? Am I managing what God gave me? Am I being a good steward? If I say I'm going to be debt free, what am I doing to get there? Now, you got to do all of it. It's some work that you got to do on your part, even with prophetic words. What am I doing while I'm waiting on this prophetic word to manifest?
Right.
Everything Apostle Evans said to me, everything Bishop Pender, I'm doing the work. When it was my house, he said, go get houses. I had to do something when he prophetically declared one Sunday morning to the church. Here's the thing. I went out the next day. I'm now 15 years in April will be in my home. And the miracle of the thing was the blessing of it. One, in the obedience. The favor of it was I only gave them $14.66 as settlement. There's always a blessing in obedience. And as Apostle Evans said, just let your obedience bless you. Because even if I didn't really, but my obedience blessed me because I went in obedience and I went in faith. I told that testimony to the people when they asked me, could I bring all this money? Absolutely not, sir. This is what the man of God said. I went in faith and obedience. And so that's why I'm saying you have a part to play. in the midst of the transition of what is taking place. So wait on the manifestation. And so whatever it is, your gifts, your talents, if you don't know them, get with somebody that can help you, somebody that you can trust and has your best interest. Now you got to check people's motives, and you got to check people's heart. You got to check motives, because everybody does not have your right interest, your right heart at value. They don't have your best interest at heart.
Right.
And you got to make sure the motives are right and the pure. What is the intent of it? What is the intent of the heart? You better pray, trust God, and God will put people that will help you. That's why when it comes to business deals, my bishop is a businessman of the first magnet. I tore up a contract for a book deal. They were so mad with me, but it didn't matter, because I know he has my best interest at heart. One, not only is a man of God with integrity, character, he's a businessman of the first magnitude. He did it. He does it. He teaches it. And so I tore it right on up. Wow. Now, here's the thing. When people give you good wisdom and knowledge, and they have you, now you can take the information and apply it, or you can take it and do nothing with it. Mm-hmm. Then you'll find yourself stuck.
Wow. I just want to say thank you, sir, for coming on the show again. I needed to hear this. You don't know how much I appreciate you right now for, just speaking to me and a lot of others to manifest your talents, manifest your gifts. So I appreciate you, sir, for coming on the show.
Yeah,
I absolutely receive it. And I thank you for just speaking life, speaking inspiration and motivation today on Sunday Morning Live. I appreciate you. And that's all
sometimes is people need a word. We have what they need, and God will place people in your life at the appointed time. That's why I said timing and season, because it might have been out of time, but it could have thought it was in season. But yet, and so when you operate in the timing and season, that he allowed it to be released. And so that's why it's so effective. And that's why it's so valuable and effective and productive, is because we operated in the timing and season. We're thinking we're rescheduling. We're thinking it. Oh, no, absolutely not. He already knew. Because we could have missed. Just like when people read books, you go to chapter 10 and it's a test on chapter 10 or chapter 5, and you done skipped all the way to the other chapters. That's why you miss what is in between. And so that's why we got to go through the process and preparation, even in lessons and learning and wilderness and trials. It's a lesson in it. What have we learned? What have we taken away? What have we applied? That whole thing really blessed me, of that wilderness, because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now had that not happened.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, we got time right now, and it's that time of the show for just one more thing. And of course, it didn't come up. There it is. And this one more thing comes from, again, Steve Harvey, who shared a inspirational, motivational speech, again, that talks about manifesting your gifts and your talents. Again, Dr. Holmes, I want to say thank you for coming on the show. And I just want to say, first and foremost, thank you for your message. Thank you for your gift of inspiration, motivation, and people. If you ever need to hear some motivation, if you need to hear some inspiration, contact this man right here. He will definitely change your mindset on a lot of things that was misleading in your life. And also make sure you go out and purchase his books. They are available right now on Amazon.
Except for Soulful Affirmations. They got to pre-order that one through me.
Okay. And my next season is Due Season, which is available on Amazon.
Yes.
Okay. And also make sure you check out Dr. Holmes. And you do radio and TV hosting, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So make sure you follow this guy on social media. Make sure you stay in the know of everything that he is doing. It has been an absolute pleasure, sir. And this will not be the last time that you and
Thank
I
you.
will speak. I'm almost certain of that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm humbled. I'm honored. You know, take nothing for granted.
Right.
Because one, I take it very seriously, is because when you're speaking into the lives of people, not only that, you know, as the word says, life and death is in when we open up our mouths. And sometimes, you know, you got to make sure because somebody could be on the edge. Somebody could just need the one word to
Right.
encourage them not to give up. And so we have to be very careful with our words, and we have to be very that we just don't use these lightly. You know,
Right.
so I thank you for the opportunity, the privilege, and I decree and declare the best is yet to come, and the increase overflow, and the deals that will seal the deals, the contract, you just moving forward, and you know, even soaring like never before, and that God honors the faithfulness and the obedience. And so I pray, you know, God's richest blessings. But thank you once again for being able to share right here on this amazing Charm City. I am so blessed, and I take nothing for granted. So thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you for coming on, and you're welcome anytime.
Thank
Anytime that
you.
that you need to come on or that you want to come on, please, by all means, the doors are open. Come on in, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to check out this video from Mr. Steve Harvey, and he talks about utilizing and manifesting your gifts and your talents right here. You have been great as always. Make sure you check out all content for Charm City Direct TV, of course, on social media platforms. Of course, you could go to YouTube at Charm City Direct TV. Make sure you head on over to Facebook at Charm City Direct TV. Of course, you can check us out on Twitch by the good people at Twitch and the good people at MMBP Radio. You can check it out on Twitch and MMBP Radio at www.mmbpradio.com. You have been great. As always, thank you for tuning in. Hey, don't go nowhere. Check out this video. And I'll see you next week on Sunday Morning Live.
Amen.
The guy was the new owner of a baseball team that was in the basement of the league when he took it over. He went to the picture and he said, "What is your best throw?" And he said, "Well, I got a good curveball and I've got a good fastball." And he went on talking about his different throws. He said, "But tell me this, what is your best throw?" He thought for a moment. He said, "I've got a good fastball." He said, "That's all I want you to work on. Nothing else. Just develop your fastball." The next year, they went to the World Series. Most people don't know where their fastball is. Most people go through life never discovering what their talents are. Most people never develop their talents. They have skills and abilities, but if you don't nurture them, if you don't develop them, they will never serve you. Your gifts can take you many places if you develop your gifts. Most of us don't like to do those things that come easy to us. You have something that you brought to the universe, and that if you decide that my life deserves my developing this, what I do well, and becoming the best at it, and mastering myself, and seeing what I have within me, if you decide to drop your buckets where you are and develop your gifts, I grant you, you'll never ever be without. I grant you that your gifts will take you places that will literally amaze you. I grant you that if you begin to work to develop your gifts, you'll develop a strong sense of happiness. You'll get a larger vision of yourself, because part of beginning to get a larger vision of yourself, all of us need some area of our lives where we can have a feeling of competence. And people know when they think about this area, that's something you do, that you eat and sleep at. And that you do that. You do that. You know this. So you've got to work on it. When other folk are having a good time, you've got to have the strength of character to concentrate, to read, to digest information. If you decide in any particular area that you're concerned about, to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to read one book a month in that area, in 5 years, you'll be among the top 5% experts in the world. I read a minimum of 2 books a week. The average American reads only 1 book a year. If you decide that area that you love, that you are going to master that particular area, in this era of accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition, as you begin to develop and expand your skills and your talents and your vision of yourself, you will always be in control of your destiny.
Thank you for watching another great live broadcast. Thank you for watching another great live broadcast on Charm City Direct TV. Make sure you head on over to YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitter for more great content on Charm City Direct TV. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow everything Charm City Direct TV.